The number one fear that keeps retirees awake at 3 a.m., running out of money before they run out of life. So here are 7 ways to create a steady monthly paycheck in retirement that actually work. Now, first off, I just want to let you know there's a lot of bad advice on YouTube if you didn't know that already. Most videos, they'll promise you get rich quick schemes, or they'll tell you to dump everything into crypto or meme stocks. But right up front, I just want to let you know that I'm not a financial advisor and I'm not a professional. I'm just sharing what I've learned from my own experience and from talking with everyday retirees who figured this out. But the biggest question I hear is this: how do I replace my paycheck when work stops? Because here's the thing: you spent 30, 40, maybe 50 years earning a salary every 2 weeks like clockwork, right? And then one day you retire and that paycheck just stops. And now you're sitting on a pile of savings wondering, how do I turn this into monthly income without watching it disappear? And that is the reason that I'm making this video. It's the stuff that nobody talks about: how to actually pay yourself in retirement so you don't outlive your money. Now, I want to share these 7 income strategies with you, so let's go for a walk on the beach. I'm talking about the normal, the average, the everyday retirees who figured out how to keep money flowing every single month. It's not that they won the lottery or had some $1 million inheritance, but it's the strategies that they used. It's the income sources that they stacked together, and it's how they transitioned from earning a paycheck to creating their own paycheck in retirement. So here are 7 ways to create monthly income in descending order. Look, retirement doesn't have to mean doing absolutely nothing, right? Many retirees, they discover that a little bit of low stress work actually gives them purpose and brings in extra cash every month. Now, I'm not talking about going back to your old corporate grind or working 40 hours a week at Walmart as a greeter. I'm talking about consulting a few hours a month in your old field, or teaching online courses, or turning a hobby into a small business. Maybe you're a retired accountant who does taxes part-time during tax season, or you're selling crafts on Etsy, or you're doing some freelance writing. The advice that retirees give here is, don't think of it as I have to work. Think of it as I choose to earn. Because if you can bring in even $500 or $1,000 a month doing something you actually enjoy, that takes pressure off your savings. And here's the kicker: you're staying mentally active, you're keeping your skills sharp, and you're not withdrawing as much from your nest egg. So if you've got expertise or a passion project, monetize it. Even a little income stream can make a huge difference over 20 or 30 years of retirement. Is any of this helpful so far? Give me a thumbs up. Now, this one surprises a lot of people, but your house, it's probably your biggest asset, right? And it can actually generate monthly income if you're strategic about it. Some retirees, they downsize from a $400,000 house to a $250,000 house, and suddenly they've got $150,000 in cash that they can invest for income. Or maybe you've got an extra bedroom or a basement apartment. You could rent that out on Airbnb or to a long-term tenant. I mean, if you're pulling in $800 or $200 a month from a rental room, that's real money. And then there's the reverse mortgage option. Now, I know people get nervous about reverse mortgages, and rightfully so, because some of them are loaded with fees. But if you're house rich and cash poor, a reverse mortgage can give you a monthly payment without selling your home. Just make sure you do your homework here, because the devil's in the details. But the point is this: your house doesn't have to just sit there, it can work for you. Whether you downsize, rent out space, or tap into equity, your housing can become a monthly income source instead of just an expense. Now, annuities, they get a bad rap sometimes, and honestly, some of them deserve it because they come with high fees or confusing terms. But here's what an annuity does at its core: you give an insurance company a chunk of money and they give you a guaranteed monthly paycheck for the rest of your life. It's like creating your own personal pension. And for retirees who are terrified of outliving their money, that guarantee is priceless. Let's say you put $200,000 into an immediate annuity at age 65. Depending on the rates, you might get $1,000 or $200 a month for life, no matter what the stock market does, no matter if you live to 95. That check keeps coming. Now, the downside, once you hand over that money, it's gone. You can't get it back in a lump sum. And if you die early, the insurance company keeps what's left unless you bought a rider that protects your heirs. So annuities aren't for everyone, but if you want predictable, guaranteed income that you can't outlive, this is the tool that does it. Just shop around, compare rates, and read the fine print. All right, bonds are not sexy. Nobody's bragging at the golf course about their bond portfolio, right? But you know what bonds do? They pay you regular interest and they don't keep you up at night wondering if the market's going to crash tomorrow. When you buy a bond, you're essentially loaning money to a government or a corporation, and they pay you interest every 6 months or every year until the bond matures and you get your principal back. So let's say you've got $100,000 in bonds yielding 4% a year. That's $4,000 a year, or about $333 a month in interest income. Now, it's not going to make you rich, but it's stable. And in retirement, stable is golden. You can buy individual bonds, or you can buy bond funds or bond ETFs that hold hundreds of bonds and pay monthly distributions. The advice that many retirees give is to ladder your bonds, meaning you buy bonds that mature at different times, so you've always got money coming due and you can reinvest at current rates. And here's the thing, when the stock market goes haywire and drops 20% in a month, your bonds, they're just sitting there steady as a rock, paying you that interest. So bonds are the boring, dependable friend in your retirement portfolio. They're not going to double your money, but they're not going to disappear on you either. Now, this is one of my favorites because dividend paying stocks, they let you benefit from owning great companies and they pay you cash regularly just for holding them. Companies like Coca-Cola, Johnson & Johnson, Procter and Gamble, these are mature, stable businesses that share their profits with shareholders every quarter. And if you own enough dividend stocks or dividend-focused funds, that cash adds up fast. Let's say you've got $300,000 invested in a diversified dividend portfolio yielding 3.5%. That's $10,500 a year or $875 a month in dividend income. And here's the beautiful part. You don't have to sell anything. You just collect those dividends like a paycheck. Now, some retirees, they reinvest those dividends to grow their portfolio, but once you're retired, you take that cash and you spend it. That's your grocery money, your utility bill, your golf membership. And the advice that retirees give here is focus on dividend growth stocks, companies that not only pay dividends, but increase them every year. Because if your dividend goes up 3% or 5% every year, that's your built-in inflation protection. Your income grows as the cost of living goes up. So dividend income is powerful because it's passive, it's predictable, and if you pick quality companies, it keeps growing. All right, so you've been dumping money into your 401k or IRA for decades, right? And now it's time to flip the switch and start taking money out. But here's where a lot of retirees mess up. They either withdraw too much too fast and burn through their savings, or they're too scared to touch it and they live like they're broke when they're actually sitting on $500,000. The old rule of thumb is the 4% rule. You withdraw 4% of your nest egg in year one, then adjust for inflation each year after. So if you've got $500,000 saved, you'd withdraw $20,000 the first year, or about 1,667 a month. Now, is the 4% rule perfect? No. Some experts say you can go higher, some say lower. It depends on your age, your health, your other income sources. But the point is, you need a plan. You need to know how much you can safely pull out each month without running out of money at 85. And here's the advice that many retirees wish they'd known. Automate your withdrawals. Set up a monthly transfer from your IRA to your checking account just like a paycheck. Because if you're manually moving money around, it's easy to either overspend or underspend. But if $2,000 hits your checking account on the first of every month like clockwork, you can budget around it, you can plan, you know what's coming. So treat your 401k and IRA like your personal pension. You earned it. Now pay yourself. Number one, Social Security, your foundation, your base, paycheck. And here we are, number one, Social Security. Now, look, I know some of you are worried that Social Security is going to disappear or get cut. And yeah, there are funding challenges. But right now, today, Social Security is the closest thing most retirees have to a guaranteed monthly paycheck for life. And the advice that retirees give over and over is this: don't just take it at 62 because you can, be strategic. If you claim Social Security at 62, you're going to get a smaller check for the rest of your life. But if you wait until your full retirement age, 67 for most people, you get 100% of your benefit. And if you wait until 70, you get an extra 8% per year, which adds up to about 24% more than your full retirement age benefit. So let's say your full benefit is $2,000 a month. If you take it at 62, you might only get $1,400. But if you wait until 70, you could get 2,480. That's over $1,000 more per month every month for the rest of your life. Now, I get it. Not everyone can wait. If you need the money at 62 or you have health issues, take it. But if you can afford to delay, even by a year or two, you're locking in a bigger paycheck forever. And here's the kicker: Social Security is inflation adjusted. Every year, they give you a cost of living adjustment so your benefit keeps pace with rising prices. That's huge because if you're relying on a fixed income from savings, inflation eats away at your purchasing power. But Social Security, it grows with inflation. And for married couples, there's even more strategy here. The higher earner should usually delay to maximize the survivor benefit because when one spouse dies, the surviving spouse gets the higher of the two Social Security checks. So if you're married, do your homework, run the numbers, figure out the best claiming strategy for your situation because Social Security is your foundation. It's the base paycheck that everything else is built on top of. So, there you have it: 7 ways to create monthly income in retirement so you don't outlive your money. You've got Social Security as your base. You've got your 401k and IRA withdrawals paying you from your own savings. You've got dividend stocks paying you cash. You've got bonds giving you steady interest. You've got annuities if you want a lifetime guarantee. You've got your house that can generate income. And you've got light work or a small business if you want to stay active and earn a little extra. Now, here's the thing: you don't have to use all 7, but most successful retirees, they're stacking 2, 3, 4, 5 of these together because the more income streams you have, the safer you are. If one dries up or underperforms, you've got others to fall back on, and that's how you retire with confidence instead of fear. I hope you're enjoying these videos. Has any of this been helpful to you at all? Please let me know in the comments. I truly appreciate you taking the time to watch. Claude is AI and can make mistakes. Please double check responses.